Hello there. Welcome to Bizworld. Malaysia's economy is expected to grow at a slower gross domestic product (GDP) pace of 4.4% in 2020 due to external headwinds from rising US-China trade tensions and weakening global growth. UOB Malaysia's senior economist Julia Goh said trade tension between the two countries would be challenging for Malaysia in the first half of 2020.
There could be upside potential room for upward revision. Of course, if we see that the private consumption turns out to be a lot more robust, we see a materialization of some of the investment approvals, and of course, effective and efficient execution of the budget measures and government spending.
She was met at the UOB Malaysia media briefing today. Goh also expects Bank Negara to lower the overnight policy rate, OPR, by 25 basis points to 2.75% in the first quarter of 2020. She also forecasts a lower GDP next year compared to 4.6% in 2019, which could also be attributed to lower foreign and public investments that weigh down on domestic growth. Meanwhile, for Bank Islam chief economist Muhammad Afzanizam Abdul Rashid, Malaysia's economy is expected to grow about 4.3% next year, driven by moderation in consumer spending and uncertainties in the global economy following the ongoing US-China trade war. However, higher deficit spending by the government of 3.2% of gross domestic product in 2020 from the initial target of 3.0% should provide a boost to the country's economic growth.
So, kalau kita tengok FBM KLCI, which is 30 stocks saja, but beyond that, actually other pockets of opportunities or sectors yang actually doing well. And kalau construction sector, obviously it boils down to government punya plan to spend on development. So in that sense, I think it will be helpful lah kalau kata government can really announce, say, whoever the winners for, say, ECRL, then we can see the traction.
He was met after the bank's Economic Outlook 2020, the way we see it, briefing today. Afzanizam said Bank Islam expects the FBM KLCI to hit 1,650 points next year. On the ringgit's performance, he said the local currency is expected to hover at between 4.2 and 4.3 against the US dollar, despite the challenging global economy. Gamuda Berhad aims to increase revenue and profit contribution from overseas to 50% against 20% within the next 2 to 3 years, mainly from projects in Australia, Singapore and Taiwan. Group Managing Director Datuk Lin Yun Ling said more than half of big construction projects in Malaysia are undertaken by Chinese companies, forcing the company to seek new markets for sources of revenue.
They can easily tender at even a loss, or below cost. So how are we going to compete with them? If we don't, a lot of our younger engineers, we will lose them. They will go overseas. A lot of them are going to Singapore. A lot of them are going to Australia. These are the two preferred destinations for them.
He was speaking after the company's annual general meeting earlier today. Datuk Lin added Australia will be Gamuda's second home market, as there is a sizable order book from the country at the moment and few tenders in line. Gamuda is also eyeing a second project in Taiwan and is about to win a construction project. Meanwhile, commenting on the Pulau Pinang Transport Master Plan, PTMP Datuk Lin said the Project Development Partner PDP agreement will be signed soon to usher in the next round of development in the state.
Priority to us is the first island, or Island A, we call it, in the PSI project, or the Penang South Islands. There we have 800-acre smart industrial park targeted for the next generation of E&E investors.
Asked when the agreement would be signed, Dato' Lin said he expects it to be done within the next few weeks. Gamuda's construction order book currently stands at 9.2 billion ringgit. And that's all the time we have for Bizworld this time around. I'm Brandon Wong. Thank you for joining us.
Wawasan kemakmuran bersama akan tercapai walaupun tampuk pemerintahan bertukar. Dua kampung di Sarawak banjir, hampir 15,000 petugas sedia hadapi situasi lebih buruk. Salah laku seksual, Datuk Seri Anwar nafi tuduhan Muhammad Yusof Rother. Semuanya jam 8 malam ini.